Hello, everybody, and hello, Lennon.
Hi, Hesha. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. We are continuing on our series of Does This Movie Still Hold Up? And today, we are looking at a movie, a famous movie, a very famous movie, the best movie. And in this, we have, some rogue heroes, and they all go off on their own separate little adventures, and then they come together to face the big bad, and then they lose. Do you know what movie we're talking about today, Lennon?
I couldn't possibly say. Is it Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers?
It's Infinity War. No, damn it. No, today we are obviously looking at Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back. After last week, we checked out A New Hope, so check that out. But I'm just going to do a quick little brief summary of the plot, and then we're going to hop straight into our thoughts and opinions, because we're just two loud boys who have lots of thoughts and opinions on things.
I have thought.
Yeah, you have thought, and I have thought too. After the Empire attacks a rebel base on Hoth, the heroes scatter across the universe. Han and Leia flee across the galaxy while Luke travels to the Dagobah system to train under a new Master Jedi.
Basically, the galaxy's armpit.
Yeah, just gross, swampy me whenever I wake up in the morning. As Luke struggles with patience and self-doubt, Han and Leia's bond deepens and gets a little bit sexy.
Ooh.
Their separate journeys mirror each other, one of growing faith and the other of survival and endurance, both leading towards an inevitable confrontation with the Empire's Dark Sith Lord, Dark Daddy. So that's basically the plot. How do you think I did?
You did really well. You know what, Kim? I think you read between the lines, and I think that you pick up on the subtext of the story, which I think is just really profound and really, really great to hear.
Yeah, Google helped me out a lot with that, but hey. But this is why you come to us, listeners and readers, and you don't read this. You could CC, you could put closed captions on. Not a way I would watch a YouTube video, but you could do that. No, but let's just hop into what do we think of where we pick up with our characters from here on. I for one, I'm a fan of this Luke fellow. This Luke guy is really starting to come around.
He's less whiny this time around, I've noticed.
That was my first note. That's my first note on Luke. He has he has more agency in this one, which I am very happy with. In both, I think this movie is a little bit darker in tone, which I'm a fan of. I love that sort of stuff, but he does have this hopeless optimism that I don't find annoying like I normally would in a lot of characters.
Yeah, he's definitely more enjoyable this time around, and I think just overall, just the delivery of just himself as a character and how he's shown in this movie, and just how the movie is structured as a whole, I just think is completely different than this movie doesn't need to waste time setting up. It's just like, all right, everyone knows who these people are, let's just get to it.
And I think the dynamics between all the characters work all the better for that. They're a lot more fleshed out. They're fitting their archetypes a lot better, even though I don't think I necessarily had a problem with how they were in the first one, other than, Luke was a bit whiny. But I think this highlights just how much better these characters can be. I see this as improvements on characterization all across. Even, C-3PO. Last episode I said he sort of annoyed me. And on paper, he does more annoying things in this movie. And he's more of an annoying character. But it works.
I think that's because everyone in this movie kind of acknowledges how annoying he is as well. He just keeps piping up and everyone's just telling him to shut up, and you're just like, you know what? I resonate with these people. I agree.
Yeah. Bully the gold robot. Excellent. Yeah. That's perfect. But Luke's better. C-3PO's better. Han, I love his, because in the first one he's a rotten scoundrel of a man, but he's very capable. Whereas I think there's a slight difference in this. He's a bit of a fuck up in this, but he just wants to smooch. He just wants to smooch. I'm thinking also even when he saves everyone, he still lands them in trouble. He navigates that asteroid field, which doesn't make sense because asteroids don't clump together like that in space unless they're in something's orbit.
Bloody scientist Cam over here.
I was like, oh, what are they doing? Because I think this is one of those things that I heard years ago as a child on the internet, and I was just like, yes, well, I don't care about science, and I googled it again in preparation for this, and I was like, yes.
Still you know what else? You know what else isn't real, Cam? The fucking Force. The Force doesn't work.
That. You don't know that. If I keep concentrating, I will be able to move my vape directly into my hand from across the room, and you can't prove anything else.
There was one time when I was a kid. kid where I was staying up late playing PlayStation 2. I had a couple of Freddo frogs, and the wrapper were still. I passed out and they were like underneath me, so obviously all this friction was building up while I was sleeping, and I woke up and they were just clinging to me. I thought I woke up with the force. I was like, oh my god, it's happening. But no, I was just an idiot. This is only 2 weeks ago, by the way.
Nice. No, but I mean, I do like how Han, like, even when he gets a win going to that asteroid field, he lands directly into the mouth of a giant worm creature.
Just a worm. Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it's stuff like that I really like. And I guess to round out the trio, the main trio that we got, Leia. I do like Leia a lot in this. I think
I like her a lot more in this movie.
Yeah, and she fits that royal sort of archetype. She is. I wouldn't say she doesn't have this in the first movie, but I do like how much she bosses this naive young sort of like Luke. Like, he's just a hopeful optimist, and then you've got this raggedy, scoundrel of a man in Han, and she's sort of like bossing them around, and she's kissing both of them.
Yeah, what the fuck, dude?
Dude, I forgot that the Luke and Leia kiss was so early in the movie.
The sibling smooch.
Well, I obviously remembered it happened, but I thought it was at the end. She does kiss him at the end, but she also kisses him right at the start, and Luke looks way too happy about it.
Yeah. So when they have the smooch or whatever, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I think everyone kind of defends it because it's like, oh yeah, like, Luke and Leia, they didn't know, so it's fine. We know, but they didn't know. But in the same movie, freaking Ivan Kershner is setting up that they are kind of in tune with each other in the Force, and he can talk to her through the Force. So it's like, I feel like he knew, even in this movie, that they were brother and sister.
I've got something else. I've got something else that confirms that they know that they're related.
Okay.
Or, I mean, just something that I want to theorize a little bit with you about.
Their birth certificate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it clearly has their names on it, and they kiss on top of it. It's crazy, that scene. we got to check out what the hell George Lucas has been doing with his does he have siblings? We'll Google that after this.
I don't know.
Okay, no, the thing that I was thinking was when Luke finishes his training and runs away to save Han and Leia, Obi-Wan, his Force Ghost Obi-Wan says, that boy was our last hope, and then Yoda says, no, there is another. So are they talking about Leia? Because in extended lore, that's often Leia, that's the other one.
I'm pretty sure.
And the only reason she has powers is because she's a Skywalker. Is that what they're talking about?
Nah, I'm pretty sure they're talking about Vader, because how he's meant to be the chosen one in the prequels and all that stuff, and then everyone's like, oh, he's not the chosen one, how could you, Anakin, and all that stuff. But then on a technicality, he is actually the one who overthrows the Emperor and throws him down that really long ventilation shaft. And
I misread that, because I was just like, oh my god, they're talking about Leia. Oh my god, they know they're related. Oh my god, he didn't tell him and he knows they kissed.
We weren't there at the time. That could have been the intention. Who knows? It could be a retcon,
Interesting.
Just like J.J. Abrams retconned a lot of the good work that Rian Johnson did. No one ever said that. We're
not getting into those
No one ever said that. Well, if I could just close out a couple of my thoughts on some of the characters.
Trio,
yeah, so Luke has given so much more, and I think that he is still a little bit, not bratty, but he's very rash in the sense that, he hasn't completed his training. He's obviously bitching and moaning about like, oh, where's Yoda? And then, Yoda's being a fucking senile menace in this movie. He's just like absolutely crazy. But then I do like that he's like, you know what? I haven't completed my training, but I got to help my friends. I got to go, even though it's obviously a trap. And with Han, I feel like Harrison Ford just, did more Harrison Ford isms in this movie, and it just works so well. And I thought he was probably the strongest character or the strongest performance in the previous one, and I think he still is here, but even more so. With Leia, I think that Leia's got layers, am I right? She's, she's shown more of a softer side in this movie, which I think makes her a lot more sympathetic rather than just like, oh, here's the damsel princess that we had to rescue kind of thing. Outside of that, I think any new character added in this movie, I think it's incorporated so well, because usually when there's new characters, you got to like learn about their backstory, and you got to like, it takes you in a completely different direction, where anything that was added in this movie only just complements the existing characters more. It doesn't take away from them. And that was basically it.
Oh, well, okay. Well, how about I just speed round my other notes and then we can talk about who we want to talk about, which is Darth Vader.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, real quick, my notes. Yoda, a lot of fun. Such a fun trope. The silly master, he plays the serious and the silly so well.
Absolute rapscallion.
Absolute rapscallion, and I do love his little tinkering with R2-D2 when he bonks him. And I do also like when Luke's like, I'm not afraid, and then he's like, you will be. Love that. Lando, so sick. Lando, love Lando. I want more Lando. I would love more Lando. I swear from memory there was more Lando and Han before the betrayal, but I wish there was more Lando in this.
Well, I think their performances carry you can tell that they're long-time buddies and they have history with each other. It does make you want to see more of
it. Not necessarily a complaint, because it did work really well.
It does make you want to see a movie in 2018 called Solo, where that one character is played by Childish Gambino, Donald Glover.
Insane that you already fan cast that so quickly. And I guess like the last little tidbit, little character, the Emperor. I think the Emperor's little scene. I know it was just, like edited heavily after the release of this back when, but I do think that works so well, especially knowing about the Vader Daddy twist. I think it is a very layered scene because you can sort of see Vader trying to convince the Emperor that, hey, Luke could join us, Very, very layered scene just for that small amount that it is. And I guess Chewbacca, goddamn, I just throw him in. He seems more like a puppy dog in this movie, and I like that. I like a sidekick puppy dog sort of guy. Like, he hugs Luke, he's being a silly guy when he's repairing the Falcon at the start. Love that. Yeah. Okay, Darth Daddy. What are your thoughts about Darth Daddy in this movie?
Well, because you touched on the Emperor, I think that the Emperor actually adds to Darth Vader's character in this movie. I think that with Darth Vader, you know, he was the big bad in the previous one, and he still is here, and he's just as intimidating. But I like that we're getting a little bit more, a bit of a peel. I was going to say behind the mask or the helmet, but we actually kind of see underneath his helmet at one stage where you can kind of see that he's like scarred and kind of vulnerable and all that stuff. And you're like, what the fuck is up with that? Like, obviously we know, but just imagine what it would be like watching this for the first time. You're getting a little bit of a glimpse or a little bit more of like, oh, what's this guy's deal? And picking up on the fact that he is so vehemently, like furiously wanting to take down Luke. And then it kind of starts to shift, the tone starts to shift where he's wanting to actually try and see if he can get Luke underneath him, so to speak.
Ooh, pause. He's already hooking up with one family member.
No, but you know what I mean. As his like apprentice or whatever, he's like, you can see that he's actually wanting to keep Luke alive if he can. Yeah. And I find that dynamic is interesting. And even how you see Vader involved with, like, you know, he's basically forcing Lando to betray his friends, and like he's conniving, and there's nothing he won't do to get his way. And I think that's really interesting to see in this movie. What do you think?
I think in this, it's different depictions of rage. I think there's at the start of this movie, especially when he's barreling down on Hoth and all that, he seems there's a rage that we haven't seen really in Darth Vader. He's so coldly intimidating in the first movie, but in this one he seems genuinely angry and upset. Not just like, you know, angry and upset like when he like chokes out a random general here and there, but like he seems to have a lot more action towards taking down our main cast. And I think one of the only criticisms I had of A New Hope was there wasn't many interactions or stakes between Darth Vader and our trio, whereas in this it does feel deeply personal for obvious reasons later on. But even at the start of the movie, he is enraged by the rebels and he needs to take out, you know, these guys that blew up the Death Star in the last movie. Then that rage almost turns more into a little bit of a purpose. Like, he is still very angry in like the last scenes, but there's like this level of restraint, which I think really informs the character really well for stuff like, you know, where they move in the prequels. He harnesses his rage, and that stuff didn't really exist yet, so it's really laying the groundwork for, you know, what makes a Sith side user, what makes a person like this. And I think just there's so many things that we get introduced to of Darth Vader. One, yes, the scarring under his helmet. I love also his little egg pod thing. I think that's one of my favorite just solo snapshots of the Darth Vader mythos, is that he is entombed in this thing, and they do flesh it out. You know, he's a lot of the time in a Bacta tank. I'm pretty sure you see the Bacta tank in stuff like Rogue One. But this sort of stuff, this is a great Darth Vader movie, even not even including the I am your father little plot twists at the end there, just throughout. it also has one of my favorite ways a villain has pussied out on their end of a deal, which is, and it still keeps in line with his character so much, when he's saying to Lando, when he's, I can't remember exactly how he's dodging out on the deal, but when he goes, "I'm altering the deal, pray that I do not alter it any further."
Yeah.
one of the coldest lines, and also a lot of characters, you would, if they did something like that, you'd be like, oh, dog ass. But this like perfectly fits Darth Vader's character. He just does not give a fuck. He will just do that, and it's still threatening and imposing. I don't know, everything to do with Vader, except for maybe like one or two moments in the final fight. I wonder if you can guess what I don't like about the final fight, actually. Specifically with Darth Vader.
Is it the fact that he is stopping and talking and trying to taunt? It almost feels like he's just giving away his plan as he's going along, and he's like just talking smack with Luke.
Not quite, because his intentions have shifted to trying to get Luke under his wing. He's trying to like seduce him to the dark side. That's not quite. My issue is some of the jank-ass force moves that they do when he's throwing stuff at him. I'm a big fan of lightsaber in one hand, other hand using the force. But there's like, he moves his lightsaber to move some shit, and I forgot that happened, and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
It's such a nitpick, but I was just like, bro, like there's one where he throws like a computer or something from the wall at Luke, and he just slightly moves his lightsaber down, and then 2 seconds later the thing slowly moves towards Luke, and I'm like, this was a perfect scene. until I saw that jank ass force move. Yeah. Small thing.
I didn't notice
scene.
Stuff like that, but I guess I can see where you're coming from. Maybe it's a bit more of like a product of its time.
It just caught me. I think it just caught me a little bit. I would have loved just to see his hand throw out the little throw computer at this guy. But I mean, to be honest, it is nitpicking, because that scene is amazing. I really love, there's no score for parts of that scene. All you can hear is Vader breathing and the lightsabers, which is great. The only that no scored part of that fight, the only music of that is a little sting at the end when Luke loses his hand, and then it goes straight into the "I am your father" speech. Yeah. So very effective for Darth Vader throughout this whole movie. Okay, we've had a little discussion about the characters. The presentation, how they package all this. I think not only are the characters more fleshed out, I feel like the universe is more fleshed out in this movie. I feel like we're seeing more of space. Having okay, for example, yes, there's some space stuff in between on spaceships and the Falcon and all that, but the first act is effectively on Hoth, the second's then in the Dagobah system, and then the last is in Cloud City. And each of those three settings are so vastly different to each other. You got ice, you got swamp, you got city. The three ecosystems to any spacefaring culture. I just feel like we see more than what we see in the first movie, because in the first movie, we got Tatooine and then a bunch of space stations and a random rebel base here and there. Yeah. I just think everything about the settings of this is really good. And I love Hoth. I think Hoth is such a great way to start this movie. Yeah, no, absolutely. So I would say that, you know, you were describing it as like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, you know, just the basic movie structure, I guess. But I feel like this movie actually feels a lot more like it's Act 2, Act 2, Act 3. Like they just kind of get rid of any setup and then they just throw us straight into the movie. They don't feel the need to just explain anything. They're just like, all right, here's our characters, here they are. There's basically no spectacle. You know, there's no ooh or ah or any of that shit. It's basically just showing us the Hoth rebel base. And I think that modern movies and shows would, you know, typically set up these like massive wide establishing shots to set the scene and provide context. But this movie is just like, you know, fuck it. Here's our characters. Let's just focus on them and what they're doing. And it just feels tense. It just feels like just from the start, they're working against the clock and it's just one thing's going wrong, then the next thing's going wrong. And I just think that it sets a really cracking pace. Obviously the Hoth scene is iconic, and I love that we basically have like a 40-minute introductory scene which is just dedicated to the whole Battle of Hoth, and then it's like, all right, let's get out of here and go to the next area kind of thing. I think that that's really, really interesting, really cool. I think overall, just regarding the presentation, obviously it's all beautiful, and you can tell that the quality, I think, has improved as well over the first film.
I think it just looks a lot more dynamic, and kind of like you were saying, each of these three major different areas look so distinctively different from each other, and we didn't really get that variety from the first film. I will say, though, I can understand why in the middle of the film, you know, it's basically set on an asteroid inside the worm, or with Dagobah, it's kind of to represent, at least my interpretation is that it's meant to represent, okay, these are our characters at their lowest, and they're in just the shittiest space possible right now. But, I mean, I didn't enjoy when Luke was on Dagobah because I just think it looks ugly, and I didn't enjoy when...
You are a vain man, we know this.
I didn't enjoy when Han and Leia and all that were inside this worm because I'm like, oh, it looks a little bit boring. But it also makes sense to me. So I'm like, I can't fault it. It's more just like a personal preference. But if I could change anything, I wouldn't change it, if that makes sense. But yeah, I just think overall the presentation is just incredible.
I think I agree with a lot of what you said, except for the Act 2, Act 3 thing, because you'll find that Act 2 actually showed up in the sequel trilogy and Luke was milking some alien cow things. So I think you're actually incorrect there, and we should edit around that mistake. I was holding on to that for so long. I had to Google it to make sure
let's
that's the
name
of the
cut all
planet.
that shit out. Let's red card for you. Let's stop the recording.
I took so much effort. I even Googled it to make sure I remember the planet's name correctly. I do agree. But I like Dagobah. I like everything that happens there because it does represent them being at their worst, and it also represents Yoda being on the run. I love the introduction of Yoda really being one of the last of this. It really fleshes out what the Jedi are in this universe. They are in gross little swamp things, and they're gross little swamp critters. They're not like Vader, who, you know, we mainly see in the power of the Empire in his ships, or in Cloud City, this haven, and he has power over that city as well. So, I mean, like, I do like the dynamic that's sort of set up there. Also, talking about dynamics that are set up, I do the weak transition. But I do like Darth Vader talking to the bounty hunters. I think even for such a small scene that is, it gives me the same energy as when they were in what was the pub on Tatooine?
Mos Eisley Cantina.
Yes, Mos Eisley Cantina. It gives me that sort of same energy where there's characters I would love to see more of, and even though we don't get much, it is just giving a richer view of what this galaxy is. Even the small thing that he says, which one is it? Jango? Boba Fett. It's Boba Fett at this point in time. The no disintegrations is just such a fun line. That 2 words gives so much context to those 2 characters. Yeah, I don't know. I just think everything that A New Hope does great is just so fleshed out in this movie.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
And I love a movie where the heroes lose. I mean, the heroes, it might end with a bit of a hopeful view of them looking over the galaxy ready for new adventures, but Luke's lost a hand. They're on the run effectively. They have lost, even though they have saved Luke from death. I don't know. I really like the way that this movie ends out. But unless you got anything else just about the presentation of the movie?
I was just going to say, I do like that scene with Han and Leia, and Leia's like, you know, I love you, and he's like, I know, and that's supposedly something that Harrison Ford, that's some of his input, that he feels like that's what his character would do rather than saying I love you too or whatever. But outside of that, I mean, I've kind of got some final thoughts. Do you have any last thoughts?
All right, yeah. I'm cool to. I don't really have any more notes left. I do just have one question for you. Would that "I am your father, we can rule the galaxy together" Luke speech, would that have worked on you?
I don't think it would have worked, but I think that, like, when I was watching this, in the moment, Luke was like so composed, and props to him, he was basically gonna, like, you know, he's gonna unalive himself, and he just jumps down this hole. And then later on, like, Vader's like trying to talk to him in his head, and he's just like, ooh, Luke or whatever. He's like, Daddy, basically, just like, is that you? So, you know, I think he's kind of conflicted, but no, I don't think it would have worked for me. What about you?
It would have worked for me. I would have done it in an instant.
I mean, do I get a red lightsaber out of this?
Yeah. Like, you get a red lightsaber, you look cooler.
Yeah.
You drip better, you drip harder, your bitch is better. I'm sorry. And they have money. Dude, I've just spent all this time hanging around with Chewbacca. He probably smells like wet dog. Sassy robots.
I want to hang around Darth Talon. That's all I'll say.
Let's go. Yeah, I'm talking you around it. All right. Well, let's wrap this whole thing up.
Okay.
What do we think? Has this movie stood the test of time? I think it's pretty obvious from our chat, but Lennon, final thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that this movie, and I think why a lot of other people consider this to be perhaps the best or one of the best Star Wars movies, and potentially one of the best movies of all time, it does such a great job at building upon the already established world. Nothing here feels out of place, and nothing here feels for show. It just feels like there was never any point while I was watching this where I couldn't just suspend my disbelief and just be like, I am in this world. I'm just eating it all up. It's just so good. And I think that it does leave, like you said earlier on, that, you know, the heroes in a way have kind of lost, and they almost, they're in a shitter spot than where they started the movie off. And I think in most movies that would be quite an unsatisfying conclusion to the movie. But there is so much that happens in this movie where we're given so much, you know, it's almost like we're given a full course meal, but we're left with a cliffhanger that doesn't feel like it isn't earned. We're satisfied, but we're excited for what's coming next. And I can only imagine that that's what a lot of people felt when watching this in the movies when it first came out. What about you?
Could not have said it better myself. I think the universe is more fleshed out. The characters are more fleshed out. They're more rich in a way that does not negate what happened in the first movie. I think this goes down in history as really setting the precedent for great sequels to come, like, you know, The Godfather 2 and then Lord of the Rings, Two Towers, like all those sort of things, I think.
And Attack of the Clones.
But yeah, no, I think that this really set the precedent for how to do a sequel. Wait, did this come out before or after The Godfather 2? Oh, well, it still set the precedent. But I think this just really, it is a perfect sequel to what is pretty much an infallible first entry to a series. It follows up perfectly, so yeah, I'm very happy. And I guess stay tuned next week, because we're going to be looking at how this trilogy ends with Return of the Jedi. I was trying to say
everyone
Jedi,
doesn't already know.
Yeah. You should watch the movies before you watch these, by the way.
I'm always fascinated whenever I come across someone in real life that hasn't watched these movies before.
Yeah.
I'm just like, how?
I've cancelled friendships
how is it possible?
and cancelled relationships.
And so you should. Yeah. That's your God-given right, Campbell.
God-given right. Even the bad ones, even when they say they haven't seen the bad ones, I'm like, oh, you're worse. You're worse than them. All right, stay tuned next week, and yeah, we'll catch you.
All right, bye.